WNBA age rule. Drop it or build a G League before 2030 expansion. The WNBA is growing fast, but is it too fast? By 2030, the league plans to welcome 3 more franchises, adding to the already announced expansion in Portland and Toronto. That's 5 new teams in just a few years. On paper, it sounds like a dream. More cities, more fans, more opportunities. But this expansion is set to create over 60 new roster spots. And the big question is, who's actually going to fill them? For years, fans and players have begged for more roster space. Every draft, top-tier talent gets cut simply because there isn't room. But now, the pendulum may be swinging too far in the other direction. What good are 60 new jobs if we still have an outdated age rule keeping elite college talent out of the league? It might be time for the WNBA to make a choice, drop the age limit or build a G League before this growth backfires. The current rule, explained. Right now, the WNBA has different eligibility rules for domestic and international draft prospects, and they're pretty strict, especially for American players. Domestic prospects. To declare for the WNBA draft, US-based players must meet one of the following conditions. Be turning 22 or older in the calendar year of the draft, and either have no remaining college eligibility or formally renounce it in writing at least 10 days before the draft. Have graduated from a 4-year college or be set to graduate within 3 months of the draft, and again, have no eligibility left or renounce it. Have attended a 4-year college where their original class has already graduated or will graduate within 3 months, with the same rules about eligibility or renouncing it. The rules are more flexible for international players. They can enter the draft at 20 years old, as long as they were born and reside outside the US, and play basketball either professionally or as amateurs abroad. However, once an international player uses NCAA eligibility, they must follow the same rules as domestic players. The WNBA prides itself on being the toughest league to break into. That exclusivity? It's by design. But as the league gears up to add at least 60 new roster spots over the next 5 years, the question is, does this expansion water down the league's brand or open doors that have long been shut? Sure, some might say the Ws are becoming more crowded. But more roster spots also mean more opportunity, especially for players who usually fly under the radar. New GMs may turn to international prospects or late bloomers. But we can't ignore college underclassmen. Because every other top US pro league already has a system for this. For instance, NBA's one and done, and in the NWSL, teams can sign players younger than 18 through the under 18 entry mechanism. Each team can carry up to 4 under 18 players with guardian consent and league approval. But, this isn't the first time this topic has come to the forefront in W. The conversation around loosening the WNBA's strict age rule actually started gaining steam way back in 2021, thanks to a pair of freshman phenoms. You already know the names. That year, freshman point guards dominated March Madness headlines. On the men's side, Jalen Suggs hit an iconic buzzer beater. And over in the women's bracket, 2 names were everywhere, Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. Clark was lighting it up from the logo for Iowa, and Bueckers made history as the first freshman ever to win both the Wooden and Naismith Awards as National Player of the Year. But once the season was over, their paths split. Suggs was in the draft conversations. Bueckers and Clark, on the other hand, had no choice but to return to campus. At the time, even WNBA Vice President Sue Bird acknowledged the flaw. The truth is, sometimes in CBA talks when there's so much that needs to be addressed or fixed, you don't get to everything. And sadly, that was one thing she said. In fact, when asked during USA Basketball's minicamp that spring, multiple WNBA vets agreed. Younger players deserved more flexibility, even if it wouldn't mean mass early declarations like in the NBA. And the numbers backed it up. Adjusted for strength of schedule and NCAA to WNBA translation, both Bueckers and Clark had better freshman seasons than any player actually eligible for the 2021 draft. So here comes this conversation about the readiness of the players. Critics argue that lowering the age limit could expose younger players to burnout or serious injury, especially in a league as physically demanding as the WNBA. Throwing 19 or 20-year-olds into that fire too early could stunt their development or, worse, end their careers before they even begin. Veterans also point to concerns around maturity and professionalism. After all, stepping into the W at that age requires more than just talent. But then again, not every young player is the same. Just look at Clark and Bueckers, both have shown poise.